Good morning, everybody. Even though I don't sound like it, I am incredibly excited for today because I'm going to be checking off something off of my bucket list, just like I did yesterday. I'm going to be flying international first class for the first time. And this just isn't any first class. This isn't British Airways first class. No, this is Singapore Airlines 777-300ER's first class. So to say that I'm excited would be the understatement of the century. I am incredibly excited, and I honestly don't know what to expect to an extent because I've just never flown it. You see the YouTube videos of it all the time, but when you're actually trying to experience it for the first time, you have to kind of take it all in, I guess, is the best way to describe it. But let's head on out of this hotel room. It's currently 4:30 a.m. and let's head to Frankfurt International Airport.
Welcome everybody to Frankfurt International Airport's Terminal 1. I love the architecture in the departures area, especially the old school departures board. I did though get here before check-in even opened, so it did open eventually and then I checked my bags. I noticed after I received my first class boarding pass, when I was heading towards security, that I did not have my passport. The check-in lady forgot to give it back to me. Once I realized this, I ran back to the check-in counter and sure enough, she had it. Now let's hope once she has her morning coffee that she does not forget to give back the other first-class passenger's passport. Okay, once past security, let's talk about this airport because it is a maze. Most of the airport has very low ceilings, giving me old-school LaGuardia airport vibes, just a lot cleaner and a lot more German. There are also some designer shops to shop in, but my personal favorite part about this airport is the amount of cool aircraft that you see. You will see a lot of 747s since Luftansa is the largest operator of the passenger 747s. There's also some beautiful A340s and a slew of other aircraft and airlines. Okay, after geeking out over very long metal tubes, I had two lounge choices, the Air Canada Maple Leaf Lounge and the Lufthansa Senator Lounge. Let's take a look at the Lufthansa Senator Lounge first. The Lufthansa Senator Lounge was renovated a couple of years ago and it shows. There is plenty of space throughout the lounge to stretch out and relax. You can enter the lounge if you have Star Alliance Gold status or if you're traveling in business or first class on a Star Alliance carrier, such as myself. You unfortunately do not get access to the incredible Lufthansa first class terminal, which I think would be a great addition. Now back to the lounge. Since this is the German flag carrier's lounge, it looks very minimalistic, borderline sterile, which is I think very German. In all seriousness though, the subtle blend of creams and whites do make the space feel a little bit more cozy. This lounge has showers, which I unfortunately did not get to check out, and it has nap rooms, a work area, a smoking room since, well, it's Europe after all, and there's also a spa. For me though, the best part about this lounge would be the food. The food was excellent, incredibly fresh, and also delicious. I did though want to save room for the flight, so I did have a good amount of food, especially a good amount of carbohydrates, but I definitely wanted to save some room. I also saved some room on the alcohol department because it was 6 a.m. Even though there was a good selection of alcohol, we're going to be served Krug champagne and Comte champagne on the flight, so I'm going to save my appetite. Well, I mean, alcohol appetite for that. Okay, now let's check out the Air Canada Maple Leaf Lounge. This lounge you will have to take an escalator up to get to, and it isn't too difficult to find. In order to get into this lounge, you'll need to be an Air Canada business class passenger or a business class or first class passenger on any Star Alliance flight. This lounge is smaller than the Senator Lounge and I'd say much cozier with the warm woods and carpets contributing to this. This lounge has a buffet with warm and cold options and of course alcohol, but I think both of those selections that are featured in the Senator Lounge are much more impressive. There's also this resting area thing which looks nice, and I could only get a clip of this messy one, so if you don't like the fact that I couldn't get a clip of a clean one, then please dislike and unsubscribe, that'd be greatly appreciated. Okay, wow, I seemed really pissed off there. Anyways, for those who have stayed, I do like this lounge, but I do feel like the details such as the leather chairs, they just looked a little bit more tired than in the Senator Lounge. One thing though, I did not get a clip of are the showers, and after checking out pictures of the showers in this lounge compared to the Lufthansa Lounge, these completely blow Lufthansa's out of the water. They look way more aesthetic.
Okay, now that I've been to both lounges, which one do I prefer? I personally prefer the Lufthansa Senator Lounge. It's a lot larger. I found the food was much fresher. They had more options, and I thought the lounge was overall a little bit cleaner as well as less tired. But I did like the coziness of the Air Canada Lounge, and the Air Canada Lounge had showers. I don't know if the Lufthansa one has showers. My voiceover will probably be able to tell you that.
Yes, the Lufthansa lounge indeed does have showers.
But now it's time to board my first class flight on Singapore Airlines. I am so excited and so nervous at the same time because I've never flown anything but extra legroom in economy. Like, probably my best flight in terms of reference is that Virgin Atlantic flight from Tampa to Heathrow. And to go from that to one of the world's best airlines in first class. Yes, it's not on the A380, and I am disappointed that they took it off this route because I could have been flying that. But there is so much content on that seat already, but there's not as much content on the 777 seat. There is content out there, but I want to hopefully add to that content, and let's get on board.
At this point, my anticipation was through the roof. I mean, if you were about to fly first class for the first time, I would imagine yours would be too. And then we ended up having a rolling delay that took about an hour because of some mechanical issue that ended up getting sorted out, which just further built up the anticipation. And oh my god, I was getting so high. Can you just please call my boarding group? Oh, okay. They did call my boarding group, and I walked down that jet bridge to my Boeing 777-300ER.
Hi, how are you?
Good morning. Welcome aboard tonight. Allow me to share your seat.
Yeah, it's okay for you to take
I'm 1A over here. Oh my god.
Singapore's first class on the 777 is one row with 4 seats across, and it feels incredibly exclusive. Even though this product is 6 years old, it still is absolutely stunning. As soon as I sat down, I was offered Krug champagne, which costs around $250 a bottle, as well as warm nuts. The seat though, oh my god, it is insanely wide. I could easily fit 2 of me on this seat. Speaking of seat, let's do a seat tour. Let's move over the provided B&O headphones to reveal the slit mirror so I can narcissistically look at myself. Below that, there's another compartment that is very orange, and this is a great place to store your shoes, especially in bed mode. Next to that is the footrest that the crew have put the amenity kit, the menu, and the pajamas. Above that is the tray table, and in order to access it, you push a button, it comes down and slides out towards you. It is massive and very sturdy. Next to that is a universal power outlet and an HDMI port. Below that, there is a place to store your carry-on since there are no overhead bins in first. Then next to that is the safety card information. On the right side of the seat, there is a column of lights that have 3 settings. A 3-prong headphone port, as well as the seat controls. On the left side of the seat, it mirrors the right side of the seat with the column of lights and the headphone jack, but no seat controls. Man, the left side must be really jealous of the right side. Anyways, the middle seats also look very comfortable with a privacy divider that can be raised or lowered, but that will only be available once we get into the air. Once we leveled off, my lovely flight attendant Fang asked me if I wanted anything to eat. Oh my gosh, let's start this huge meal together. I started off this insane meal with a signature chicken satay. Singapore Airlines is known for this dish, and I first heard about it from Will at Trek Trendy, and he was absolutely right about this dish. It was the best thing I've ever had on a plane, and of this entire flight, by a mile. It is marinated chicken skewers served with a peanut sauce, and it's usually chicken thighs because they don't overcook as easily. This dish was juicy and delicious. After the chicken satay, I then was served Comté champagne, which also cost $250 a bottle. Okay, now it wouldn't be first class, well unless if it's on British Airways, without caviar, and this was the course I was most looking forward to because I associate a first class flight with having caviar. Singapore Airlines serves Kaluga Queen caviar, which comes from China, and this tin costs around $80. It is also served with the accompaniments blinis, creme fraiche, egg whites, eggs, and chives. When you have caviar, you should always eat it with a mother of pearl spoon because metal utensils actually alter the taste. Man, caviar is really bougie. So traditionally, when you try caviar, you actually put it on your palm of your hand right here, so...
Would you like to have some wine to go along with the caviar?
I'm okay, but thank you.
You're welcome, thank you.
Okay. Put it here. And eat it. That is delicious. Oh my god. Great. Now I like something else that's really expensive. like I don't like too many expensive things already. That is incredible. That is so good. I actually didn't think I was gonna like it as much as I do. You do taste the sea, but it's not fishy. It's kind of hard to describe it. When you eat it, you're not supposed to chew on it. You're supposed to just swallow it, and it's so smooth, super salty. It's absolutely delicious on its own.
It seems like I don't know how to eat caviar. Maybe that's Singapore Airlines secretly telling me that I belong back in economy.
Oh my god. That is so good. That is insane. So refreshing, actually. Like, I was not expecting it to be this refreshing. And, well, why don't we wash down with some Comté? And, because why not? Let's have some Krug as well.
Wow, I feel like a massive douche. Anyways, douchebaggery aside, I then tried this creamy German herb soup with baked egg and microgreens, and well, besides being a very green soup, it was very delicious. It was a very good consistency, and I just really liked the flavors that were going on here. It was a very warm dish, if that makes sense. Then I tried this garlic bread, which I think was a little overhyped and was very mild in garlic flavor. I then got this Thai beef noodle soup, which I'm not going to butcher the pronunciation of, which I used via Book the Cook, which you can pre-select certain meals depending on the routes that you fly on. And that's me saying wow about how delicious the broth was. However, the beef was not very delicious. It tasted like beef reheated on a plane. It was not braised, and it just tasted very overcooked. At this point, I really did feel like I need to be rolled off this plane, but then I decided to order dessert, and then the flight attendant surprised me with 2 desserts. I ordered the right one, which was a strawberry shortcake, I believe, and the left one is some type of pudding with dry ice. It was also very delicious, and I mean, the presentation was so cool. Definitely a 10 out of 10 in terms of presentation. Now, the shortcake itself wasn't my favorite, but I'm more of a chocolate dessert person, so take what I'm saying about that with a grain of salt. Okay, now after eating what seems like the 777's weight in food, I then checked out the bathroom. While not being the A380's bathrooms, the 777 bathrooms are still pretty nice. They have La Liga amenities such as facial mist, body lotion, as well as eau de toilette. You also get very bougie hand towels, less bougie paper towels, tissues, a motion-operated faucet, as well as a mirror that I thought folds but does not. You also get a leather-lined baby change table, as well as another leather lined seat. This is very convenient when you're going to change into your pajamas. Then there's also a toilet, which I think you guys know what it looks like by now. And anything else exciting? Oh, there's this fake orchid, which looks pretty nice. The highlight though of the bathroom was this, the foot operated waist bin. Why doesn't every single airplane bathroom have this? Since every aviation YouTuber, when they go in the bathroom, changes into their pajamas, I'm going to do the same thing. It's just that I'm going to do it in my own bathroom because I forgot to record it on the plane. So this is the extra large pajamas, and these black ones are the large pajamas. I actually asked for both of them because I wasn't sure what size I was going to be. The extra large actually are a completely different design and color, and I actually much prefer the black ones, but what do you all think? I just decided to model them here. I might look like a complete douche and idiot here. Let's next talk about the Amenity Kit, which is pretty nice. It's from Lalique, and it comes in this beautiful black leather bag, which is definitely very reusable as a toiletry bag. Also, massive flex because on the other side of the bag, it says Singapore Airlines. Also, there is an eye mask. Looks pretty nice. There's also body lotion, facial mist, lip balm, and then also an entire bottle of Entra Noir Eau de Toilette. This retails for about $130 on their website, but FragranceNet has it for about $30, but not sponsored. After changing into my pajamas, I then checked out the bed, which the lovely flight attendant made the middle suite into a bed. This seat is 35 inches in width, which is an inch shorter than Cathay Pacific's first class seat, and my god is it wide. Also, they give you this adorable teddy bear, and this particular one was in a chef's jacket, which I think is a really nice touch. Now let's take a look at Singapore Airlines' IFE system. In order to control the screen, you will have to open a compartment on the right hand side of the seat to reveal this ubiquitous Panasonic IFE controller. This is the only way you can control the screen because there is no touchscreen in this system. Singapore Airlines says that they have over 1,900 entertainment options to choose from, and they are absolutely right because my gosh, there is a lot of content. What was also impressive wasn't just the fact that there was a large quantity of content, but also a very large diversity of content. With having entertainment options from all corners of the globe, you definitely will be able to find something enjoyable to watch. This system is in, I'd say, the top 3 IFE systems behind Qatar Airways and Emirates. Singapore Airlines uses Airshow Voyager 3D for their map system, and it was alright. There wasn't a lot of cool interactive features for the 3D map, and that could be because this aircraft is 14 years old. There might be more features available on newer aircraft such as the A350. If this flight didn't feature enough alcohol, here's some more. Fang asked me if I wanted to try the Singapore Sling, and of course I said yes. It was delicious, not being too sweet, but also strong enough. And at this point, I was very buzzed. And then Fang insisted that I try another drink. I said, please don't have there be alcohol in it, and she said no. Thank God, because I don't think I can take any more alcohol. First world problems in first class. Anyways, this drink though, it was pretty good. It had cocoa powder and milk, so basically cold chocolate. It was delicious though. Now let's take a look at business class. Singapore's business class on the 777 is also in a 1-2-1 configuration, and the seats are so wide. I would highly recommend choosing a bulkhead bassinet seat if you can, because there is no restricted foot space. Also, can we talk about this view for a second? Wow. Okay, let's take a tour of this seat for the people that couldn't quite afford first class. All jokes aside, the monitor in the bassinet seat is quite high, which is why some people don't like the bassinet seat. There's also another narcissistic mirror, just like in first class. And now what I'm trying to do is attempt to take out the tray table, which stays in one position and is very sturdy, but thankfully because of its design, it is very easy to get out during meal times. Above that is a very deep storage compartment that you can store all the contents of your pocket. Then, speaking of storage, we have another storage compartment here, but this is very open. You also get a reading light, and then below that you get a universal power outlet, iPod plug-in port, USB-A and 2 USB Type-C ports. You also get a column of lights on the left-hand side that you can control individually. Also below that are the seat controls. Okay, let's take a look at the regular business class seat for comparison. So on the upper right hand side, you get a storage compartment, and then below that, you also get another narcissistic mirror. Then here is the same deep storage pocket as in the bassinet seat, as well as the tray table, and then over here is the safety card information. The one thing though that people really don't like about this seat is the fact that the footwell is diagonal. When the seat is flat, you have to sleep diagonally, and I understand why, but as a side sleeper, it doesn't really bother me, and that's why I recommend choosing the bassinet seat at no extra cost. I unfortunately did not get any footage of the premium economy cabin, but here is the 333 configuration in this Singapore Airlines economy class. Most other airlines nowadays have fitted a 343, so it's really nice to have a 333, and the seats have 19 inches of width and 32 inches of legroom. Whilst the economy and business were impressive, I mean, come on, just look at this. I then ordered off of the pre-landing menu what they called a mini cheeseburger. I would call them mini cheeseburgers because there's 2 of them. Just a disclaimer, if you are a non-Subdan, a vegan, or vegetarian watching this video, I really do apologize for the graphic content that you just had to witness. But let's actually talk about how the burger tastes. Considering it was a reheated burger on a plane, it was actually pretty good. The confit onions were a nice addition, and yes, the beef had a slight reheated flavor to it, but as you saw, it was very juicy, and I think this was a perfect way to end off the flight. With the end of the flight being near, what did I think about my experience? This flight was near perfect. The only minor gripes I can think of are the food, which is mostly down to Frankfurt catering, even though it was provided by Doe & Co, and I also noticed the absence of hot towels on this flight. It is a very small detail, but first class is meant to have useless shit like that. It is for most people a very special occasion, and if you want to splurge the miles like I did, I would say do it, at least once. You won't regret it. Besides that though, the seat was incredible, and the service for me was what really stood out. The crew on this flight was really what made it special. My flight attendant, Fang, and also the purser, who I unfortunately do not remember his name, took very great care of me during this flight, and the purser even insisted I take a picture with the entire crew after we landed. All of the crew in every cabin that I interacted with was so friendly, and it does really seem like that the flight attendants love what they are doing. I am aware that they saw me filming, but I have heard from so many different people that Singapore Airlines consistently has excellent service regardless of the cabin class. One other thing I wanted to add was a quote from another aviation YouTuber, Jeb Brooks. "Do not take any of my criticisms as a lack of gratitude," and I couldn't agree more. I am comparing this to other first class products, as this is obviously much better than economy. I'm also well aware that many people do not have the opportunity to fly first class, and the fact that I'm doing it by myself at 23 years old is an even bigger reason to be thankful. And on that note, I hope you all enjoy the approach into New York's JFK. Welcome everybody to New York's JFK Airport. If you skip to this chapter of the video to see how much I paid, welcome to the video. I paid for this flight using Singapore Airlines KrisFlyer miles, and I earned these miles by signing up for 2 credit cards with high sign-up bonuses, which I still think is an incredible deal to fly first class on a transatlantic flight. This flight one way was 97,000 KrisFlyer miles and $121 US. Since I was 10,000 miles short because my Marriott Bonvoy points were taking over a month to transfer, I decided to pay an extra $250 for the missing miles. Some days are more miles than others, so I do recommend being flexible with your booking. The day after mine, for example, was 143,500 miles. That is significantly more than the day I booked. You unfortunately cannot use other airline reward programs to transfer into KrisFlyer miles. The only way, at least in terms of rewards, is using credit card points. One thing you might see is the option of waitlist. This is because the availability to buy this flight using miles is not available yet. Usually this opens about 3 weeks before the flight starts, and sometimes you'll have to put the auction months in advance. I didn't even do that. I just waited until the availability opened up and I used my miles and cash.
Wow, what an experience that was. I don't even know where to begin. I have never had an 8-hour flight fly by so fast. Everything from the service to the seat to the food was near impeccable. There was a couple of minor gripes I had about the food, but I was actually pleasantly surprised considering this is Frankfurt catering and not even Singapore catering, which I can imagine is even better.
Okay, wow, let's end off this really long video with saying thank you all so much for watching. I hope you all enjoyed this video, and until next time, I will see you all in the next video.